So let us continue. So, and
listening.
Do you see the questions and picture slide on the slide?
No, ma'am.
Need to do it one more time. Okay. And now, is it full screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, and if we speak about the doctor being sympathetic, so can we describe the doctor's approach like sensitive or annoying in the conversation that we've listened about diet and losing weight?
Sensitive.
It is sensitive, of course. And so, as you remember, the doctor suggested to make changes in the lifestyle gradually, and he also offered to take up some physical activity like swimming. And would the doctor's suggestions work in all cases? Are they universal? What do you think?
It depends on the patient. And the patient take that the doctor. If the patient takes in a positive manner and work on that for her or his betterment and change in to bring change in his or her lifestyle, then the words are effective. The treatment given by the doctor is effective. But if the patient take the words in a negligent manner or sensitive manner, the words are not effective. So it completely depends on the emotion and how the how the patient takes the words of the doctor.
Exactly. It depends on the situation, and the doctor should find out the details about the patient's life, so to give the best piece of advice in his situation. Okay, thank you.
And also, you should convince the patient. Each patient will be different from one another. So the doctor should find different ways to convince the patient to do what is correct.
Okay, thank you. And now one of the ways of convincing people to change their lifestyle so is to inform them, to give information about the so-called BMI, which stands for body mass index. And so the task is, let us just first look at this chart. So you can see that the chart shows some So here it shows the height in feet and inches, which is given to the left, and to the right we can see the same parameters in the metric system, the height in meters. Then at the bottom of the chart we can see the weight of people. It is given in stones, and at the top of the chart the weight is given also in metric system in kilograms. And so the chart is covered in different colors. For example, the first color, which is light, the lightest color, this is for underweight. So we can see if the people show, if people have this kind of weight and height. So it means that they do not have enough weight. And so the next just area, which is given in darker yellow. So this is for normal weight. Then there is overweight zone, obese, and more morbidly obese zone, which is given in red. So, and we can see that the doctor talks to his patient, Mr. Ford. He just encourages him to lose weight. And so Mr. Ford his weight is 110 kilograms and his height is 180 centimeters and his waist size is 110 centimeters. So, and if we have a look at the chart and we compare, so let us have a look like, here's the height, 180 centimeters, and so his weight is 110. So is his weight normal?
No,
No, ma'am.
no,
Slightly
he's
obese.
obese.
He's obese, yes. So it's like here. Mhm. And okay, so please look at the normal parameters for this height and just what would you say as a doctor to Mr. Ford? Who would like to speak? Okay, Sharisha.
Yes, ma'am.
So please, as a doctor, encourage Mr. Ford to lose weight. Just describing his weight and height.
He is obese, so the doctor said to do exercises and regular walk in the morning and evening, and he also recommend try to reduce the fatty foods and junk foods in his diet.
Okay, but you should convince him to lose weight. Why? He says that his weight is okay. So is he right according to this chart? What would you say?
180. His weight is.
So we understand that he is obese, and
He's
what
obese. He's obese. So he should reduce his weight. Otherwise, some diseases, cardiovascular diseases, occur to that.
okay, and what should be his normal weight? Yes.
It should be 90 to 80 to 90 or 100, some up to 100.
Up to 100. So who can help us? What should be his normal weight? Like this is the
18.
so 80, less than 80, let us say 5, yes? And starting with 60 to 80, to 85. Okay, so good. Now let us move to the next slide. And so here we need to, how can we encourage patients and how can doctors make suggestions to lose weight? So we can use modal verbs in these situations. Let us look at the sentences. For tentative suggestions, you can use the modals like could, can, or might. And there are 3 examples that are given here that are very similar in meaning to each other. Different modals are used here in these sentences. Like you could, for example, get off the bus 1 stop early, or you can, for example, get off the bus 1 stop early, or you might like to try, for example, getting off the bus 1 stop early. So, and you know that there are more verbs, modal verbs that are used for suggestions. They are should, shouldn't, ought, oughtn't, but they are used for strong suggestions. Generally, these verbs are used in order to give advice. And be careful, this can be annoying rather than encouraging and are probably best avoided. So in just trying to convince patient do something, it's better not to use such modals like should and ought. And the examples are given here. You should give up smoking, or you shouldn't eat fatty foods. This is a piece of advice to a friend, not of a doctor to a patient. And so let us have a look at, yes, this slide, and you can see here several statements, sentences, and most of them have such modals as should. And let us just make it more polite, less annoying to the patient, and let us change the sentences just starting with the phrase which is given in the brackets. I think it's very easy to do. Let us listen to Asna, please. The first sentence.
Yes, ma'am. Have you thought of
So we have the sentence, you should try to take it easy for a couple of days and have a couple of days off. And if we change, what do we have? After off, we need to use what? What is the next word? Which word goes after off?
taking?
Yes. So the sentence. Have you
Taking off?
Have you thought of? Have you thought of taking it easy?
Is it for a couple of days?
And having?
And have a couple of days off.
Okay, good. So Ramisha, please.
Yes,
Number
ma'am.
2.
You should step up the exercise very gradually. It is better to step up the very gradually. It is better to the exercise very gradually.
Okay, thank you. So John Parvin. Number 3, please.
You could spend more time on a physical demanding form of exercise.
Okay, good. Instead of imperative, you give a piece of advice. Okay. Well, the next is for Hala Malik.
Instead of eating red meat, instead of eating red meat, eat white meat or fish.
Yes, good, way you can. Okay, so the next is for Sultan, number 5.
You should do something which will get you out and about. Try and do something which will get you out and about.
Good. Now, Sinju, the last sentence is for you.
You should have a balance rather than a crash diet. You might try a balanced diet rather than a crash diet.
Okay, so these are the ways doctors should talk to a patient. And so some more ideas are given here on this slide. So what encouragement would you give to a patient who is trying to lose weight? Please, you have the ideas to the left. So foods to avoid, fiber, like meat, dairy products, ways of cooking here. So, and drinking and so on. So please just talk to a patient, starting with the phrases which are given to the right here, which are given in italic here. Try to avoid, if you can, you could have, so please make up sentences, encouragement to a patient to lose weight. So, Danish, please. What would you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Try to avoid foods like fatty foods, salt, sugar, crisps, biscuits, cakes, etc.
What else?
And if you can, eat foods which contain fibers. And also you could have white meat instead of red meat.
Okay.
And it's better to have dairy products, skimmed milk, semi-skimmed.
So, okay, so thank you, Danish. Ashwati,
Yes, ma'am.
so will you continue, please?
Okay, ma'am.
So
It's better to avoid grilling. It is better to avoid frying food rather than that you can eat the baked food items. And you might like to try to drink 2 to 4 liters of fluids daily.
Okay. So what about eating fish?
If you can have fish 2 to 3 times a week.
So any more ideas? Any more sentences? Okay, so we've mentioned almost everything. Okay, good. Now, if we move to the next slide here, let us focus on so sympathy and empathy. So you see, when Dr. Nigu tries to persuade the patient change in the lifestyle to more healthy one. So this situation can be seen as negotiation, and effective negotiation requires sympathy and empathy. Actually, these just words are very close in the meaning to each other, but there is a slight difference which we need to understand. So sympathy is feeling for the patient from your knowledge of other people's experience. Yeah, this is like from some logic which goes from your brain, like in the picture. And empathy is feeling that is based on personal experience, feeling from your heart, like in the second picture. This is the main difference. Sympathy, knowledge of other people's experience, and empathy from your personal experience. So, let us look at the sentences here and decide which of these sentences best explain sympathy and which empathy. Let us just read the situations and decide. So let us listen to Taib.
Understanding the patient's feelings because you have seen other patients in a similar situations before.
So what is it?
Must be sympathy, ma'am.
Sympathy, exactly, because other patients. Okay, Labib, please.
Yes, ma'am. A mixture of self-experience and understanding of the patient's condition. It is empathy, ma'am.
Because this is your personal self-experience, okay? Hepzibah? Hello, Hepzibah.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 3,
Yes, ma'am.
please.
Yes, ma'am. Understanding what a patient is feeling because you have experienced it yourself. It is empathy.
Empathy, great. Well, and Ansila?
An understanding of what the patient is feeling based on clinical knowledge. It's sympathy.
Is sympathy, exactly, all right. Well, and some more just sentences, situations to practice. Statements made by the doctor decide which are sympathetic and which are empathetic. So, well, Asna, please, the first sentence. Asna? Hello?
Ma'am,
Yes, number 1. Read it, please.
I know it is not easy to change the habits because I have faced the same problems myself.
So in this situation, if the doctor says this phrase, is he sympathetic or empathetic? Sorry?
Empathetic.
Empathetic, because he says, I faced it
I have
myself.
faced the, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Shamisha, please.
Giving up smoking isn't easy, but you have thought perhaps of cutting down gradually.
So, sympathetic or empathetic?
It's sympathetic.
Okay. Well, Ramisha, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
People try to make changes like this. At first, it seems difficult. It is sympathetic.
Good. John Farvin?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it is difficult, but you have thought of the advantage of giving up. It is empathetic, ma'am.
So, do you say empathetic or sympathetic?
Empathetic.
So, does the doctor speak about his own experience? So, advantages of giving up.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
It's sympathetic, ma'am.
Sympathetic. Okay, and Hala Malik?
I know what it's like because I have been the empathetic, ma'am.
Yes, this is empathetic. Okay. And are these any of these statements very personal? So, like, I know what it's like because I've been there myself. So this is
Fifth one is very personal.
very personal. Yes. Okay. Or the first one also. Do you think it will work in the situation, in the conversation with a patient if the doctor's advice is personal like this? Or is it better to avoid such a very personal advice? What do you think?
In some cases, because we can patient more easily when we use sympathetic words, sentence than sympathetic. If we use more sympathetic words, sentence, the patient may feel like he is being sympathized. That is, some of the patients may not like that. So, using some of empathetic word helps to get connect with the patient here faster. So, using little empathetic sentences are beneficial.
Okay, but anyway, patient just expects from the doctor an expert advice, not the advice from his own experience, but an advice of a specialist. So in some cases, it's just it won't work in some cases. So because the doctor needs just to be an expert and to give professional advice. So, and if we move to the next slide, let us do like this. We are going to read some information about overweight and obesity. So like according to Australian social trends for 2007, overweight and obesity pose a major risk to long-term health by increasing the risk of chronic illnesses. For example, in 2005, 7.4 million people aged 18 years old and over, which is 54% of the adult population of Australia, were classified as overweight or obese. And an increase, this is an increase from 5.4 million adults, which was 45% of the adult population in 1995, like 10 years later. And there is an increase of such people. And let us just, before we start reading, let us look at the sentences on this slide. And let us try to predict the information. Let us try to complete the sentences with your own ideas. So what about the first sentence here? Sultan, what do you think of this?
If obesity is the result
of what?
Maybe eating junk foods and fatty foods.
Okay, okay. So Sinju, what about the second sentence?
Obesity can affect the normal lifestyle of an individual by making that individual prone to some diseases, like they can get diabetes or they can get some heart diseases because of obesity, which may affect their daily lifestyle.
Okay, so you are speaking about the sentence number 3 about diseases, yes? And Danish, what about the second sentence, lifestyle factors?
Lifestyle factors associated with obesity are eating junk food all the time and no exercise.
Okay, yes, exactly. And thank you. Number 4, Ashwati, please.
Yes, ma'am. The cost of obesity in Australia was.
So this is about a number, sum of money. Can you predict the cost of obesity?
$30. I guess, I don't know.
So you mean millions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So now let us just look at the next slide, and here's the beginning of the article about overweight and obesity in Australia. Let us read it and check for the information. And Taib, please, you begin.
Yes, ma'am. Overweight and obesity have become worldwide concerns, reaching epidemic proportions. Obesity is caused by an energy imbalance where energy intake exceeds energy expended over time. This imbalance has been linked to lifestyle factors such as increased consumption of foods with higher levels of sugar and saturated fats, as well as a reduction in the physical activity.
So this is information about the causes, yes, of obesity and some lifestyle factors connected with it. Okay, and so if we move to the next slide, we can see another paragraph, and let us listen to Labib.
Yes, ma'am. Overweight and obesity pose a major risk to long-term health by increasing the risk of chronic illness such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and some cancers. It has been estimated that obesity and its associated illness cost Australian society and government a total of $21 billion in 2005. In July 2006, the Australian government implemented a 5-year, $500 million program, the Australian Better Health Initiative, aimed at reducing the impacts of chronic diseases, which induces a focus on promoting healthy weight.
So this is about illnesses associated with obesity, then the cost of this illness to the society, and about the program. Well, so the next is for Hepzibah.
Yes, ma'am. This article discusses adults who were classified as overweight or obese according to their body mass index, that is BMI, based on self-reported height and weight.
Okay. And the next piece of information is for Ansila.
Yes, ma'am. Overweight and obesity trends. In 2004 to 2005, more than half, 54% of all adults or 7.4 million people aged 18 years and over were either overweight or obese, an increase from 45%, 55.4 million adults in 1995. And using age standardized data, the rate of overweight adult has increased from 33% in 1995 to 36% in 2004 to 2005, while the rate of obesity in adult has increased from 13% to 18% over the same period. Each of the national health surveys conducted since 1995 has reported a higher rate of overweight and obesity for males than for females.
It's interesting. Higher rate of obesity for males than for females. Okay, and a lot of data here given in this part. Well, now Asna, please continue reading.
Perception and on weight for many people, particularly men and older women, self-perception of acceptable weight differs from the standard BMI definition. This may have implication for the management of healthy body weight in adults. In 2004 to 2005, more than half of the adults, 63% of males and 59% of females, is considered themselves to be acceptable weight, and the proportion of males 32% and female 38% who considered themselves to be overweight was considerably lower than those who were classified as overweight and obese according to the BMI 62% and 45% respectively.
So this is about self-perception of acceptable weight. So also a lot of information. Now let us listen to Shamisha. Read the next.
2005, after adjusting for differences in the age structure of the population, the proportion of people in the overweight and obese BMI categories who considered themselves to be of acceptable weight increased. In 2004 to 2005, almost half, 47% of males and around 1/5, 21% of females who were overweight or obese considered themselves to be of acceptable weight. This compares with age standardized rates of around 1/3, 35% for males and 12% for females in 1995.
Okay, and let us just complete the sentences according to the information which was given in the text. So let us listen to Shamisha, the first one. Shamisha?
Yes, ma'am. Obesity is the result of imbalanced diet.
Yes. Okay. And the next is for Renisha.
Yes, ma'am. Lifestyle factors associated with the obesity are increased consumption of food with a high level of sugar and saturated fat, and a reduction in physical activity.
Okay. Good. Now, John Farvin, please. Number 3.
Yes, ma'am. Obesity affect long-term health by.
So, what does the article say about what kind of
Cardiovascular, chronic illness, and many health conditions, poor health conditions, diabetes and
even cancer in some cases. Okay, so the next is for that was for Hala Malik, please.
The cost of was $21 $21 billion in 2005.
Good. Then Sultan.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 5.
Higher rate of obesity.
Who shows the high rate of obesity? So
males than female.
Okay, you're right. Okay, and the next one is for Sinju.
Self-perception of own body weight among men and older women has implications for
the management of healthy body weight, right?
Management of healthy body weight in their levels.
Okay. So this is information about obesity and overweight, and yes. Now let us just speak about the home assignment. So as you remember, we were working with the course, online course, English for medical practitioners, and you should also use the same link and choose. So on the page you choose advanced level, and you choose medical English for health professionals here in the window, and so module 2, taking a medical history, and then you'll get access to units from 1 to 5. We've done units 1, 2, and 3, and today's task is to complete units 4 and 5. So you should complete the tasks, and you should just take the screenshot and insert it into the PDF file and upload it to the Moodle site. This is the task which should be done till Saturday.